Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Everything Aja. If you are new here, my name is Aja. Welcome you, welcome you, welcome you. Hello, good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday. Whoop, whoop. I was trying to get my daughter situated so she would not come in and interrupt us. As all my parents know out there, look, it's real. It is real. So a happy Saturday. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So excited to see you guys today here on Everything Aja. We do this thing called Chat It Up Saturdays, in which we talk about very pressing issues. We can come together, join together, share our thoughts, hopefully learn some things. Not hopefully, you will. You'll definitely learn some things to be able to take into your instruction. And so today we're talking about the secret of getting our kids to learn and enjoy learning, even if they are over it. Man, who knows that this time of year our children are simply just that, over it. They're like, I'm over it. I don't want to do it. Period. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, more specifically this time of year, and what we can do to teach smarter, not harder, relax our hair a little bit. So go ahead and grab a sheet of paper. I have 10 really effective tips for you today, tips that you can take and immediately implement into your instruction literally today, or starting Monday, that is. And while we do that, let me know who you are, where are you from, what do you teach, down below in the chat box. While you are introducing yourself down below, let me just share a little bit of who I am and introduce myself. For those of you guys that do not know me, my name is Aja. Hello, hello. Yes, I do have my EDS. I am an educational consultant. I have previously been a kindergarten through fifth grade curriculum specialist for 6 years. I was the administrator over all things teaching and learning. I have over 10 years in Title One schools. That just means that I am very experienced with struggling readers, children that are on free and reduced lunch, and children that really need our help. And I also do have my reading endorsement. In addition to that, I just realized I blocked it with my face. In addition to that, my mission here on Everything Aja is to help over 500 of you guys personally create a life that you enjoy, a life that's worth living, a life full of freedom and happiness. And I do that by helping you teach reading without ever feeling overwhelmed. And so I hope you go from feeling burnt out and overwhelmed to having a bigger impact, having more free time for your personal life, feeling confident and feeling prepared. So that's a little bit about me. Thank you down below. Keisha, she says she's a fourth grade teacher in Title One school in South Carolina. Come on, whoop, whoop. So you know we're here, girl. We're here. So today we are really diving into this time of year, and more specifically, how we can get our kids actually excited about learning, and especially reading when they're simply over it. And so I want us to actually start off with focusing on the part of over it. We're going to get into, motivating them. We're going to get into them enjoying reading. We're going to get into even how to motivate and encourage to engage them. But right now, y'all, let's just talk about the part of them being over it, right? So I want you to let me know down below in the chat box, how are you feeling during this time of year? Are you one like, oh, I am great, this is my favorite time of the year, I am smooth selling everything in my instructions, going amazing, I got this? Or are you still smiling, things might not be perfect, but they're going? Are you number three, crying just a little bit, you feel a little overwhelmed, you feel a little frustrated, you're wanting things to get better, but you're hopeful, you're hopeful a little bit? Or are you number four, you're angry, you're at your wit's end, maybe you've even contemplated on leaving altogether, like you're like, hey, I'm so over this that I'm kind of ready to quit. Hopefully, you're not there yet, but let me know down below in the chat box. Are you a one, a two, a three, or a four? One, two, three, or four? How are you feeling? And then I want to piggyback off of that and ask you why. Why? Not only do I want you to rank how you're feeling, but I also want you to think, okay, why am I a two? Why am I a three? Why am I a four? Why do I feel this way? All right, I see one, two down below in the chat box. All right, all right. You said you're feeling end of the year blues, and I am over it. But you're not quitting though. Okay, so you find yourself at a three. Okay, okay, okay. This time of year, y'all, it gets real, right? Doesn't it get real? It gets real during this time of year. And so thanks for sharing how you feel. Now I want you to put on the lens of your children. Because if you think about where you are, like you said, you are at the end of the school year blues, and we're literally about to talk about that. But you can only imagine that they are feeling the same kind of pressure, the same over it feeling. So I want you to just think about your children, whether you're homeschooling one child or you have an entire classroom of children. Just kind of give me the average. How are your kids feeling? How are your kids feeling? Are they a one? They're excited, smooth selling, they are loving it. Are they a two? Like, okay, well, everything's not perfect, but I still have a smile on my face. Are they a three where they're kind of sad, feeling a little overwhelmed, feeling a little pressure? Or are they at a four where they are like, contemplating like walking out the classroom? I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I am so over this. Let me know down below in the chat box. How are your kids feeling? Are they a one, a two, a three, or a four? And then I want you to think why. I want you to think why. What is pressuring them to feel this way? All right, it said K2 and two. All right, two, three. All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, so we're in between a two and a three. We're in between a two and a three. Good, good. All right, so we're seeing some woos and some woes, but we at least we're not at a four. We're not at the I want to quit phase. We're at the all right, just a little bit of hope phase. Just a little bit of hope phase. Um, you said number three and you sub. Yes, it's real. It's real. You say your kids are a strong three with a little bit of a four. All right, all right. That's typically where they are, especially if you are like you are upper grades teacher, because and we're gonna talk about this a little in a second. The pressures of the state standardized test. So I'm assuming that you're getting ready and prepped to go with your state standardized test, and it is a thing. And that pressure alone, you feel it. So you can only imagine they feel it too. You say your son says he is bored. Oh my goodness. Let's talk about that today. All right. So he is at a three because he is bored. All right. That's his why. All right. All right. So we did a few, few self-reflections, some self um analysis. So I want you to think about your list, and I want you to think about what you just wrote down, both how you feel and how your children feel, and then why it is that you pinpoint this ranking that you just gave it. And so now I want you to take that list, both for you and your children, and I want you to think about all of the controllables and all of the uncontrollables that contribute to that number. So, for example, a lot of you guys gave between a two or a three. So, in thinking about why you are in between or toggling in between a two and a three, what is it that you can actually control and what is it that you cannot control? For example, most of my 3 through 5 teachers probably have the big uncontrollable of the state standardized test coming up. Do you have anybody that's like, yep, that is a major stressor to why I just ranked my three or my four? Let me know down below in the chat box, even if you're watching the replay. Is this the big uncontrollable that just contributed to the ranking that you just gave this gave your feelings to? Then I want you to think, although you have no control about the test, there are certain things that you do have control over. For example, you have control over how your kids prepare for that test. So, although you can't change the fact that they are taking the test, you can change the preparation of how they prepare for the test. All right. And so, I want you to just take like a few minutes and just think about, okay, what are some controllables? What are some uncontrollables? If you're watching the replay, I suggest you stop right here and then just do this activity and then hit play again so that we can really dive in and fix this. All right, you said your state testing, district testing. Come on now. Testing is real during this time of year. So real, so real. So yes, and so now the key to this now is to work smarter, not harder. Everybody say it down below, right? Everybody say it. No matter if you're watching replay or you're live, work smarter, not harder, right? Well, it sounds so simple, but I really need you to just soak this in. Work smarter, not harder. So what do I mean by that? What do I mean by working smarter, not harder? Aja, you just said that half of this stuff is uncontrollables, but there are some controllables around them. So, how can I work smarter, not harder? If I focus on the controllables, well, that you just said it. The first thing we have to do, look, I'm speaking for you. First thing we have to do is change our mindset to not focus on the uncontrollables, but focus on the controllables. If we can just work on making the controllables easy, if we can focus on working smarter, not harder with the controllables, then our life will get a little more simple. Not only that, if we can then make the controllables seem exciting and seem relevant, that's the key word, to children, then they will also be excited. And so now we have this concept of just focusing on the controllables to then change how we feel about the uncontrollables. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? That if we change our mindset, if we focus on the controllables and change our mindset about how we feel about the controllables, we inevitably change how we feel or how the uncontrollables impact our feelings. All right. And so when we're talking about how to motivate children, this is the key. Okay. And so getting us to a one or a two and getting our children to a one of a two focuses all around this, changing the mindset of the controllables to then shift how they feel about the uncontrollable. So for example, Tangela, you said that your son is bored. Your son is not enjoying learning because he is bored. All right, so now what we have to do is focus on some controllables that can then affect his feelings about the uncontrollable, because the uncontrollable is he has to learn, right? That's uncontrollable. You have to go to school, even homeschool. You have to do it. And so in order to change his feelings about that uncontrollable, we have to narrow down on our controllables. All right, you said uncontrollable. You can't happen what happens at school. Yep, because you do tutoring after school. Controllable, what happens in my class, and to reshape how they look at what happened at school. There you go. Yes, it starts in the mind. It's the mind shift that we are going to really dig down into, right? And so if you ranked yourself or your children a number 3 or a number 4, we're going to really hone in. I'm going to give you 10 tips to hone in and focus in on the controllables. And I want this to be as interactive as possible. So if you have any additional tips, let us know. We are a community. Let's help one another work smarter, not harder. Come on, y'all. All right. So we are doubling down and focusing on the controllables to change how our children and ourselves are feeling during this time of year. Because, let's be real. This time of year is so busy. It is so chaotic. Let's just take a moment to just talk about what is actually going on right now. Let me know down below in the chat box before I tell you what I feel like is going on just as a monthly perspective. But what is going on right now that can be possibly affecting your mood, your children's mood? Okay, I don't want to okay. Look, let me just do a disclaimer. I'm not talking about what's happening right now, but in your personal life, even though that does affect, your mood. But like uncontrollable things that can be affecting your instruction, okay? Like or that can be holidays, that can be like we just talked about state standardized testing. Like during this time of year, it is the most busiest time of year, y'all. This is the busy season, right? It's also the season that most people want to quit. And it's also the season that most people give up. And it's also the season that most people take the shortcut. I mean, let's just be real. This is that season. That's where we are. We're at the I'm done with this. We're at the I don't want to do this phase. We're at the I want to give up. We're at the I want to throw the towel in phase. So what is going on right now? I just want to particularly talk about March at the time of doing this live. It is the month of March. So let's just talk about what's going on in March right now. Well, March is Women's Month. It's all over. March is not only Women's Month, but it's also St. Patrick's Day. It's also the month of Irish history. Not only that, you might not have known, it is Frozen Food Month. Interesting fact. I told you you're going to learn today. I told you you're going to learn something today. It is Frozen Food Month. It is also International Craft Month. That seems something that I can incorporate in my classroom. And believe it or not, it is also Peanut Month. Random fact about March. We only have about 2 more weeks of March, and then we're in April. April is spring. You have the change of season. In fact, I just want to remind you guys that this weekend we just found out that it is daylight savings time. So if you're in a place that does daylight savings time, hey, that's a thing. Come on now. Yes, it's also reading month. How could I forget Read Across America? Come on now. You had Dr. Seuss's birthday. A lot of schools engaged in reading on the first week of March. You had that as well. And so, and thinking about what's also coming up, okay, we have spring, we have Easter. Am I blocking the word? There we go. We have Easter. Not only do we have Easter, we have spring break. Hello. Do I have anybody that is counting down the days until spring break? You're like, Aja, I have 14 more days, about 6 hours and 22 minutes to go. Period. But it is almost spring break. You have April Fool's Day coming up. You have Earth Day. You might not have known this, but it's also National Kite Month in April. It's also National Frog Month in April, National Poetry Month. Come on now. And I am about to say something crazy. With all of these holidays, it is time to double down on these holidays and start incorporating them in your lessons. Of course, some of them seem easy, like National Poetry Month. Okay, great. I can get my kids to write a poem. Easter, Earth Day. Okay, I can piggyback on some of those things. But Aja, I just told you at the beginning that I'm overwhelmed. How is this about to happen? How can this alleviate the pain that I'm feeling? Well, I just went over all these things and then tell you to incorporate them in your lesson, right? Like, LOL. I just told you to take all these things, Easter, the holidays, and put them into your classroom. And look at this funnel. This is a funnel. Look at this layout of the funnel, right? And so in this layout, the top part are all the different holidays that we just talked about. Then there's things that you cannot control. Those are those uncontrollable things like testing. But then the next thing, you also have poor performing students. How do you do this when your students are already struggling readers? They're already behind the curve. Aja, they're already behind. I do not have time to take out of my instruction to talk about some St. Patrick's Day or a kite or a peanut month. I have to teach. And then there's the other uncontrollable thing, such as time. Time. Mm. How can I help time? And even listen to this, you might feel overwhelmed, or you might be like Keisha down below talking about some spring break. Countdown, you're like, Aja, I don't care. I am checked out mentally. My mind is on the beach. I'm already in my villa. I am over it. And we don't want you to be over it, because the truth is, if you're over it, then this funnel will never happen, right? And you'll just, like we were talking about, try to find a shortcut and end up cutting corners. You said spring. Yes, yes, girl. Yes, 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 yes. All right. So now let's talk about if you ranked yourself or your children a 3 or 4. How can you and your children take these things and kind of remotivate ourselves even though we are over it? How can you, even though you may be over it, feeling like a 3 or 4, and your children might be over it at a 3 and a 4, how can you move from that 3 and a 4 to a 1 and a 2? Raise your hand if that's something that you want to do. You're like, yeah, I would rather end this year at a 1 or a 2. I don't want to be over it, even though I am over it. I don't want to be over it. I want to get to a better place. And so I'm about to give you 10 tips to help you go from that 3 to 4 to that 1 to 2 by doing some of the things that we've already talked about and doubling down on what we can control. Because there's so many things out there that we can't control. There's so many things that are going on during this time of year. I'm telling y'all, the beginning of the year and the end of the year are crazy. But yeah, goodness. You always feel the burnout and overwhelm so much more in the spring because of the pressures from the entire year. And so let's just dive into tip number 1. Okay. And y'all know this tip's probably going to be my tip number 1, because hello, teaching you how to teach reading. And that is to upgrade your book selection. So a few weeks ago, we talked about how you can take hot topics such as a Super Bowl. I told y'all how to take the Super Bowl and how to incorporate books into your classroom on that topic, and how that alone can start to motivate your children. I saw Keisha. Woo, woo, I did a shout out to her. She ended up adding me on, goodness, I put myself in the eye, Instagram, showing me what she did, and she did just that. Bonnie, you did the same thing with your kids with Super Bowl. Well, now it's time to do it again. Hello. With all of these festivities and all of these activities coming up and these holidays, and start incorporating those topics and holidays into your books. So I just gave you some random holidays. Random holidays, y'all. Peanut Month. Find some books about peanuts. Find some books about George Washington Carver. Bring some peanuts in school. Kites. You know how many children, especially African American children, have never flown a kite? They don't even know what a kite is. You can bring a kite into, I mean, they're like $1 at the Dollar Tree is no longer $1. It's $1.25. Let's be real. But you can get one for $1.25, or go to the Dollar General, something. Bring a kite in. Let them have that background experience. But start incorporating books about these type of holidays. These random holidays can literally spark interest in a child. Like, do you know this month is National Frog Day? I mean, I'm a Delta. I don't really do frogs, but it is a random fact. It is a random fact. And that random fact right now, hopefully you find yourself like, interesting. That same way that you get intrigued, your children will get intrigued also. Next month is National Poetry Month. Children really struggle with poetry. There's poems on state standardized tests and all these other things. Start bringing books about poetry. Bring in topics with your small group, in your small group text, about these things. So upgrade your book selection. That's the first tip I can give you. That is something that you can control and can spark interest in your children. You said we made our kites in pre-K. Come on. Oh, bump the Dollar Tree. Bonnie said, make your own kite. Make your own kite. I love y'all. I love y'all. Oh goodness. Yes, I love that. Make your own kite. That works too. That works too. But you're getting children excited in the topic, and then just incorporating that topic within your instruction. Another thing, whoop, 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 where all my people that are like, I need something to help my babies write, they do not like to write. Well, if you make your writing topics relevant to them, that also helps motivate them, especially at a time where they are over it, right? They're over it right now. So you can incorporate holiday topics and holidays into your writing assignments. So we can do, I have narrative writing. Narrative writing is one of the most easiest genres to do this with. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys a few ideas, a few ideas, a few ideas. There is coming up, there is April Fool's Day, right? They can literally make a make believe story up about April Fool's Day and performing some April Fool's joke, and then do some shares. You could even post them all around the room, and they can kind of walk around and read each other's writing. Another thing you can do is do a narrative writing the week right after spring break. Have them write about what they did during spring break. Now, I do want to tell you that sometimes when you do writings like that, that can kind of like trigger something. So also you kind of give them an option. And the reason I say trigger some things because not everybody has a positive experience during spring break. Not everybody has a parent that can take them to the beach, or could take them to the zoo, or could take them to Six Flags. And so maybe during their spring break, they were at home alone all weekend babysitting, and it was traumatic for them. Maybe they received some bad news and that was traumatic for them. So I do want to just give you that heads up, but also, it can be an option. So, for example, you can have either or. Write about what you did during spring break in a narrative writing, or write about what you wish you did during spring break. And then now those two options allow them to either do a reflective narrative writing, or make a narrative writing using their creativity. So you can write about relative topics to getting them motivated, even though they are over it this time of year. Other things, we talked about all of these different topics, or a lot of times during this time of year, they also do field trips. Perfect, perfect, perfect topic for your narrative writing, including field trips, because you're giving children that positive experience, and so now they can write about that positive experience. And so just let them write about these different holidays, these different experiences, that is relevant to where they are during this time of year. All right, tip number 3, add research projects. So y'all know kids do not like to read. They don't like to do it. They don't want to do it. And this time of year, sometimes it feels like pulling teeth. Am I by myself? I hope I'm not by myself. But a lot of you guys gave me some threes earlier about how your children feel. They are over it. And during this time of year, when you ask them to read, they're like, oh, I don't want to read. Do I have anybody that's ever had that? I just did it with my daughter the other day, because she's literally been reading, and she was like, ah. I said, did you just do that? Oh my goodness. And I'm like, okay, I have to do more to motivate her, right? And so one thing you can do is to add research projects. And so when reading doesn't seem like reading per se, it gets exciting for them. It gets motivating for them if it's not presented in a form where they have to sit there, open up a book and read it. They're still reading, but you are just packaging the activity of reading in a different manner. So allowing children to do a project, even if you haven't done a project at all this entire year, do a research project. Incorporate current topics or holidays into projects. So for example, I just gave you like 20 different holidays, random holidays. You can Google, literally, I just Googled March holidays, and in popped in all these holidays. You can then type in April holidays, insert all these other holidays. I didn't even tell you guys, April is lawn and garden month. Like, what in the world? You would be amazed at so many random things about the world around them that's going on. And so take one of those holidays, that topic that seems relevant to them right here, right now, right? Currently, it's the month of March, or currently, it's the month of April. You're going to take something as simple as pick a holiday. So give them the whole list. They get to pick the topic, one that automatically intrigues interest. They are interested in this particular topic. Then, once they choose which holiday they want, or you can even do where they draw a holiday out of a box and you have the holidays written on sheets of paper, just something to get them excited about choosing the holiday. Then, after they have the holiday, you can make them present in different ways. They research the holiday. You don't tell them anything, they do all the research on their own. If they're little kids, all you have to do is you can print them out, print out some like on things on Wikipedia, have them read those, whatever you want to do, but have them research the topic, find books at the library on these random holidays. They can research the topic that way. And then you can make them present the holiday. So they could do a presentation where they create a PowerPoint, they create maybe a Canva presentation, some kind of presentation in which they have to create. Maybe they have to create a digital book report and they have to report on their holiday or on their topic. They can create a movie. So they can use things like iMovie or even what is that, quick movie, QuickTime movie, but just simple ways for them to present their findings. So they're reading, you're getting reading out of the way, check, but you're doing it in a way that gets them excited, even during this time of year when, quite frankly, they are, I'm gonna say it again, over it. They're over it, but you're making it seem exciting because you're packaging reading in a different way. All right, our fourth tip is to also add tons of practice games. Because they are over it during this time of year, you can also incorporate as many games as possible. Most of the skills that they need to learn, you pretty much have done it. I know as a curriculum specialist, I would always teach all of my teachers to be completely done with teaching all of the standards by this time of year. So they would be completely done by the beginning of March. Baby, you do not interrupt me. Sorry. I mean, just came in. I told her no. She still kept coming in. But although they are over it, most of the standards and skills that you want them to review, you can have them review it not by standing in front of the classroom lecturing, not by telling them about something that you've already told them about, but allowing them to practice those skills. So, would you rather sit and practice the skill by playing a game or listen to somebody preach and teach about it? No, give them tons of practice games so you can incorporate games to just review and practice skills. For those that are doing test prep, that you are preparing your kids for a state standardized test, hello, I am the queen of games, and I actually make sure, look, simple plug, that you are subscribed to Everything Aja, because coming out in 2 weeks, I actually have a video just for you. It's all about test prep games for testing that you can use. Unless y'all are like, hey, can we get that next week? Let me know. I don't know. That'd be a lot. It's already done, but I might switch it up if you guys are like, I need that video right now. But it is coming up, already done. Just has to be edited. So if y'all are yelling at me like I need that video now, I can give it to you now, redo some things. But test prep games to get them to practice the standards that they need for your state standardized tests. So you can do that as well. Let me know also for those that are like, I need that video like right now. If not, be patient, it's coming out. All right, tip number 5 is to team up with other teachers. So you might feel like you are over it and you see that teacher or that other homeschool mom that seems like they are just jamming away at the curriculum, and you're like, man, my kids are just watching movies right now. Hopefully that's not what you're doing. But if it was, and you're like, I don't feel like doing this, team up with them. Team up with them. There's different things you can do. You can have a buddy system that can do like a little mentorship, especially if they are a different grade level. If you have upper grades and you're teaming up with that kindergarten teacher that looks like her classroom should be on Pinterest. Hello, y'all all know there's always that teacher. Or maybe you do reading buddies, where they get to read to each other. Kids enjoy doing that. So you can have like fifth graders paired up with kindergarteners, and the kindergarteners get to show off their reading to the older kids, and the older kids get to show off their reading to the little kids. That can also help motivate children during this time of year, and also helps you while you are over it because it gives you a buddy and you get a partner. Hello, you get someone else in the room that can share the same energy with you, the same vibrations. Also allows you to have an accountability partner, and also allows the children to have an accountability partner. Not only can you just team up with teachers for like mentor reading buddy systems, but you can also do it, as we've been talking about some of those other tips, with the reading games. So maybe as you're doing interactive games to get them to practice, you invite another class in of the same grade level, and they get to do it with you. That makes it seem new. It's something new, something exciting. Just the simplicity of inviting other outsiders into your classroom makes children excited. They get them feeling accountable. And so, yes, although they are still reading and playing a game on Main Idea or doing some vocabulary games, they are excited just because their friend from down the hallway is in here and it seems something new. All right, another tip I have for you, and let me know right now before we keep going. Give this video a thumbs up if you are finding value in it, if you are getting some tips that you can immediately implement to keep you motivated, to keep your children motivated, even though you are over it. Please give this video a thumbs up. That's my shameless plug right there. Shameless plug. All right, let's keep going. Tip number 6 is to give children options. One way to keep them motivated, even when they are over it during this time of year, is to give them options. Ask them what they want to do. One way I always teach my clients is to incorporate choice boards. Choice boards go a long way, and they allow children to choose what it is that they actually want to do. And then that because they get to choose, they are more motivated to read and to do the things that they chose to do, right? But I said thumbs up, thumbs up. Also hit the button, and you could drop it in the chat box. There, come on now. Come on now. Yes. And so giving children the choice or the option between one or two things, or maybe even a whole choice board of things, allows them to stay motivated, allows them to keep reading, to keep doing this thing, even when they are over it in a time of the year where it just seems so chaotic. Another thing you could do is make a choice board. We talked about all the different holidays and the things going on. Maybe your choice board has different ways for them to research those holidays and share their findings in different ways. And so maybe hello, incorporating poetry month. Maybe they write a poem about frogs in the month of April, and that's one of the options on your um choice board. Hey, that was a good one. That was actually a really good one. Y'all should do that one. That's a good one. Write a poem about frogs. How random is that? But it incorporates something relevant. It gives them a challenge. It incorporates reading and writing. Come on now. Psh, I love it. I love it. Hope you did. Awesome. You said you did both. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Other things you can do are give children rewards. Reward them. Think about it. Think about it for those that are not homeschool parents, but you actually get paid to teach. Your reward for teaching is your paycheck. You're getting something out of it. Yes, you know, there are those other rewards like the smile on your children's faces, those moments when they say, "Thank you, Miss Johnson, you are awesome." Those moments where they look at you and they're happy. Those are moments that are rewarding as well. But there is nothing like getting paid. Hello. Hello. So, incorporate as many rewards and incentives as possible. Reward everything. Anything they do, reward them. Reward them. Give them a piece of candy. Give them a certificate. In fact, those of you guys that are in my program Teaching by Design, if you notice, anytime I introduce some new concept, I also give you ways to keep children motivated to want to do it. Something as simple as a certificate or a sheet of paper that says you did it, how that gets a child excited to keep going, gets them re motivated. It gets them excited to do it. You said thank you. Hey. I love it. I love it. Thumbs up. Awesome. But it just keeps them interested. You keep coming probably day in and day out because you're getting paid. Am I right or am I wrong? If you weren't getting paid, would you still want to teach for a living? If you weren't getting paid, would you still want to teach for a living? Something to think about. And so you get rewarded, you get paid. I'm not telling you to go pay your children, but give them some kind of reward, whether it's a sheet of paper, a certificate, a lollipop, a trip to the treasure box. Set up some sort of way for them to get rewarded. We talked about earlier having review games and review activities that they can do as they start to review certain skills. Well, allow them to get rewarded if they make mastery, which is 80% or above. If they get 80% or above correct, then they also get a reward. And so then that way you're doing two of the tips all in one. You're doing the games and you're doing the rewards. And so you can pair some of these tips up together. You can kind of pair them up together. Bonnie said, yes, I like that one. Woo, woo. Glad I can give you something that you can implement. I told you I wanted to give y'all things that you could like immediately implement like this week, right? So hopefully these are like whoop 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 coming to you. But yeah, you can like team these up. You can also do, like we talked about the choice boards, we talked about changing up the books. You can literally do all of these things to kind of shift the atmosphere during this time of year. Another tip, piggybacking on the rewards idea, is to let children show off their skills. So at this time of year, they've been working hard from August or September, depending on where you are, all the way to now. So they've built in some time. They've hopefully have developed, they have some skills to show off. And so allow them the opportunity to show off these skills. And so things that you can do is think about how you can incorporate ways that they can show off to their peers, to their families, or to their community. So look, pairing this up with the project idea earlier, I said take a topic, allow children to do a project. Not only do you have to do like a holiday or something relevant now, for example, you can take what they've learned all year, right? So, for example, in science, I know for fifth grade, they learn about sales, plant animal sales. They learn about, I'm about to say pushes and pulls. That is definitely second grade. Whoop. They learn about, oh my goodness, they learn about Magnus is third grade. What? I am looking about every other grade level. Why is all the other grade levels in my mind right now? But they learn about how to classify animals in fifth grade. They learn about they do, wow, what are the projects? Oh my goodness, y'all. I am having like boop, completely a science brain, just like my brain. I'm looking at the projects and I just can't get it out. Constructive and destructive forces they learn about. They also learn about oh my goodness, like when things dissolve and become a new substance. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness. Okay, that it's gonna come to me. It's gonna come to me. I'm trying to do all the science standards. Y'all like, what you're on here teaching reading. Okay, but where I'm going with this, you can take the entire years of like the entire year curriculum of everything that they've learned thus far. They can pick one of the subjects that they've already learned. You can use science. I use science for example, but you can also do social studies or even math. But now you're going to pair this up to reading. And so what you're going to do is allow them to write about that topic or what it is that they did, and then share that to their peers, so they can have it in the hallways. They can actually write letters to their community members. You could tell I'm coming from a STEM certified school, right? You can find ways that they can go and share this to their parents. Maybe you allow them to create a video and they have to write the script. Hello, incorporating writing. They have to research, incorporate reading, and then they get to post a video or on the internet. I've seen teachers do that, but do it in a safe way where you're posting the videos, right? And then they get to go home and they say, mommy, look, my project's on YouTube. And you have it shared where it's only accessible where people have the link. And just think about ways that they can share off their findings. They can share off what they've learned. This also boosts confidence in children, and it also starts to initiate motivation with them. Once again, if you're finding value, don't forget hit that thumbs up button, and share this with other teachers. Share this with other teachers. There's other teachers I know that you guys are connected with that are also feeling the pressures of this time of year, and quite frankly, they are over it. And so share this with them as well. All right, tip number 9. Tip number 9 is to use technology to help. Allow technology, y'all, to be your other teacher. If you were over it and you ranked yourself a 3 or a 4 at the beginning of this, if you were like, Aja, I'm at a 3. I know you said you were at a 3. You said your kids were at a 3. You said you had the end of year blues and you were over it. You were a number 3. Then do this. Allow technology to help you out. Allow technology to be the other teacher in your classroom. Incorporate ways that children can get on apps or get on the computer and review the skills that you were going to teach. So instead of you sitting here stressing out, pulling out your braids, trying to figure out how to get them to master multiplication or to master, subject verb agreements, find a game on the internet about subject verb agreements or nouns or multiplication, whatever it is, and allow them to play some review games on the computer. This way, you're working smarter, not harder, and you're allowing technology to be almost like your co-teacher. Also, let programs help close in the learning gaps. If you can use data, not if you can use data, but use your data, identify those skills that are easy skills. And so what you're going to do, in fact, this is one thing that I teach in my program, Teaching by Design. I teach teachers how to look at standards, and if you can identify the skill, then it's really easy. So I'm about to teach you how to do it, so pay attention. You're wanting to look at their data. Okay, so you're going to look at their data. They probably just took a test in January, right? You're then going to see from the skills that they lack, those skills that they're missing, whether it's a yellow. So I would kind of focus in the yellow skills. Those are the skills that they're ready for. Okay. And then you're going to see from those skills, what skills have one correct answer. If the skill has one correct answer, then it's probably a simple recall skill, meaning that every single person that does this assignment or they listens to this question will have the same exact answer. You said you started the course Teaching by Design last week. Whoop, whoop. Yes, that's what I like to hear. When you get to module 3, I break this down even further and we actually practice doing this with standards. And so when you identify the targeted recall skills or skills that children can automatically know, then those are the skills you can put them on a computer for the computer to help close in that gap. So for example, if it shows that they are really struggling with subject verb agreement and they're ready for it, meaning that they understand what a noun is and what a verb is. So if they know what a noun is and they know what a verb is, then subject verb agreement should be something that they're ready for. Well, there's only one correct way to answer a question. So, hey, let me get a computer game on subject verb agreement, put this baby on a computer and allow the computer to close in that learning gap. Hey, Teach smarter, not harder. And kids like it because they're on the computer. Now, we do want to remind you that during this time of year, this seems to be the favorite tip. And there's a reason why I had this tip kind of towards the end. This is because if you do it too much, it can backfire. If you put kids on the computer too much and you just make the computer their teacher, what do they need you for? Half the reason that kids are motivated to learn and motivated to do things is because of the relationship that you have built with them. So if you just throw them on the computer and you just throw them on technology without all of the additional support, then they're going to lose motivation because they want their cheerleader. They want you. So you're going to use technology to help you, not to replace you. I need y'all to, like, in the chat box right now, I need you to commit to that. I'm going to use technology to help me, not to replace me. Right now, AI is a huge thing. Technology is just advancing in such a fast pace. We don't want to replace your job. We just want to make it easier. Okay. All right. Don't forget to hit this video a big thumbs up. Give me a drum roll if you are ready for the next tip. Tip number 10. Hello, hello. Hey, it's so good to see you. So good to see you today. Good morning. All right. Tip number 10. Let me know if you're ready. I don't know why I'm building up the anticipation. All right, so for those that said I'm at a 3 or 4, for those that said my children are at 3 or 4, this next thing has absolutely nothing to do with reading, nothing to do with learning. It is give these babies a break. You want to help them motivate to learn, give them a break, right? Have you ever noticed when just how powerful a brain break is? In fact, Go Noodle did not blow up just because it was titled Go Noodle. It is because it was onto something with the power of a brain break. So I say the drum roll. The brain break, a brain break. And so what do you do with a brain break? Give children a brain break. Allow them to play icebreakers, a fun little icebreaker. I have tons of icebreakers out there for you. Incorporate as many icebreakers as possible into your day. As you start going throughout the end of this year, you're gonna notice it starts to get warm. You know what happens when it starts to get warm? The kids start to get antsy. I don't know what it is. It's like the chair, they start to get allergic to sitting. They do, they become allergic to sitting. They're like this. Mm, mm, can I go to the bathroom? They seem like they have to go to the bathroom 20 times a day. Hello, can I get an amen down there? Like they are over it. And because the season is changing, their behaviors all over the place. They are literally allergic to rules, allergic to discipline. They don't want to learn. They want to go outside and play because it's now warm outside. And so give the babies a break. Okay. You say yes to Go Noodles. So true. Awesome. You say you are going to use technology to help you, not replace you. Yes, 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 yes. You said you give children a 10-minute break in between each subject. That is so awesome. So you are already ahead of the game when it comes to this tip. That brain break just allows them to like pull away. And it's something that you can even do too. If you find yourself feeling at a 3 or a 4 in the middle of the day, maybe you started off with at a 1, then take a moment to just like pause. You get a brain break. You need a brain break. Look, I'm gonna be like Oprah. You get a brain break. You get a brain break. You get a brain break. Oh, incorporate brain breaks. You can play seasonal games to just help reset their minds. We talked about all of these fun holidays that happen at the end of the year. Use these holidays to just kind of reset their mind. In fact, I have videos on here about St. Patrick's Day games. I have videos about Easter games. I have a ton of video games about Easter games. I even have games, educational Easter games that you can play in your classroom. You said, this is your son right now. Girl, I'm telling you, they get allergic to sitting down during this time of year. I don't know what it is, but allow them to play brain breaks. In fact, down below in the description, you will see I have 25 fun and exciting games that you can play during the end of the year. So as you start to wind down the school year, hey, come on now, give these babies some time to just kind of decompress for a little bit. So I have 25 games down below in the chat box, games and activities that you can do during this time of year. Um, Oh, he said you're an awesome resource. Oh, thank you, thank you. I so greatly appreciate it. So greatly appreciate it. I see Keisha with the drum roll down there. So, what if you're like, okay, what if I want more? Piggybacking off of having a resource bank, what if you want more? Like I stated down below, I have some videos that can help you out. In fact, what you can watch next is you can literally see 25 end of the year games and also some educational apps. So I talked about the use of technology, and so maybe you're like, I do not have any technology. I don't know where to go. I don't know what tools to use. And so if you're like, hey, I want to use technology to help me and not to replace me, down below, there is another YouTube video that I did giving you more educational apps that you can use to help you do this. You said you're at home a lot and trying to find another place to take him to teach. Oh, that's a good one. Change of environments, take him to the park. The park, great one. A lot of times people aren't in the pavilions in the middle of the day, anyways. Look, I hope I'm not telling you to trespass, but go to the pavilion and have him learn there. And then the cool thing is you can use the outdoors to actually teach and do things. Y'all know I'm all about doing really fun activities, especially Tangela. Have you checked out a lot of my flashcard activities? I just had this flashcard sitting right beside me. But like I don't know what you're teaching right now. Let me what are you teaching like right now? Because I could share with you some things that you could do like this week with him outside. He said, "Oh yeah." Let me know if there's any more questions down below. I want to do a Q&A. I feel like it's about time to do a Q&A call to just gather your questions and help you guys out. So we'll let me know if you are interested in doing a Q&A call. I just get on here and help you guys with ideas and things that you guys can do in your classrooms. You said you have found the library and outside picnic tables at the library to work. Okay, that's a good one, Tangela. That could help. So she said she goes to the library, doing homeschooling, outside picnic tables. Come on now, just like what I was talking about, the pavilion, and library helps a lot. Sometimes places. Oh, yeah, yeah. Like I don't know about teaching there though. Have you taught like whole like homeschool lesson there? It's interesting. You said changing locations is ideal. Yes, it definitely resets. But somewhere as busy as the park though. That's why I said maybe a pavilion first. Somewhere that is not so much because if you set a child that wants to play right next to a swing set, baby, they're not paying attention to you. They are staring at that swing set the entire lesson, not paying attention at all. At all. They are watching them. They are like this. And so if you're gonna do it, do it right. Do it right. And try to go into like a place outdoors that is not so busy, so that they can pay attention to the lesson. So Tangela, don't forget, let me know what you are working on. But like I in my flashcard game video, I do flashcard games and I do some outdoors. And so if you're working on, like I was sharing with you, I know you say you just started doing the Teaching by Design course, but identifying a lot of those basic recall skills, you'll notice that a lot of the games that you can play with those are very interactive. And so I know within Teaching by Design, Tangela, there's also 60 games that you can literally immediately implement. And so definitely go check those out and play them outdoors. And so all you're doing is changing the location. Like Bonnie said, location is ideal. Just change up of location, take them outside, and then start playing some of those games to get your son excited. I know you said he's out of 3. He's starting to get over it. He's starting to feel bored. So we just need to step up the engagement. All right, Princessa said do a Q&A. All right, do a Q&A. Could we do it next weekend? Okay. maybe either next Saturday or the next Saturday. Look, we have chatted up Saturdays. So definitely do that. What I will do for those of you guys that are watching live and watching the replay, what I will do is create a Google form in which you guys can drop all your questions down in. You guys can drop all your questions. It's 11 o'clock exactly. Yes, you can. Oh, I gotta tell y'all what just happened. Okay, I'm gonna do a form in which you guys can drop down all of your questions. Okay, and then during the Q&A, I will answer them. Of course, you can come live and get more feedback, and so I'll do that. All right, random, really quick. One thing that you can keep your kids off the screen time. We were talking about the use of technology and kind of how to use it. One thing my daughter loves to do is get on YouTube. Do I have anybody else that their kids are just like YouTube watchers? All right. She did a smiley face. Yes. Whoop, whoop. My daughter's a YouTube watcher, and I have a rule where she can't get on YouTube until 11 o'clock. Now, mind you, she just turned 5 like a month ago. She can barely tell the time. She just came in here with my husband's watch at exactly 11 o'clock and said, "It's 11 o'clock, mommy. I can get on the iPad." That's an easy way to teach your child how to do something. I mean, give them that little parameter. Baby girl has learned how to work a clock right now. Hello. All right. So you said it's empty during the day and on weekdays. Okay. So you grab a table with an outlet and you work while you eat a small meal. That is such a great idea. So that's a good idea that Tangela can do as well. Homeschooling, all my homeschool moms. Whoop, whoop. Shout out to you guys. Change the location. Change the location. You said you got a meeting. Talk to you later. Yes, let's love you. Love you. We're about to wrap up right now. Homeschoolers can go to a pond or a lake. That seems to also be very, very peaceful. Very peaceful. Ponds, lakes, so peaceful, so wonderful. So changing up locations. And maybe we can do a Saturday. Y'all let me know just on like different ways to keep homeschooling new and engaging. Because this is we can continue this conversation. You said not yet. You are teaching his letters and numbers and words. Girl, teaching, girl. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. I need you to go module 3. Okay, I know you are just starting teaching my design, but in module 3, um, there are rinse and repeat games that you can use that help go over basic recall skills. Letters, letter identification, sounds, numbers, all of those are basic recall skills, meaning there only one right answer, one wrong answer. And so instead of sitting there drilling, killing him, make it exciting, getting him engaged to want to do it and to practice it. So after, of course, we're not officially teaching, you're practicing. And so what you would do is pull out some of them rinse and repeat games. You should have you at least have all the letters. They are also in, you should also have syllable boot camp. I give you the pack of these flashcards in syllable boot camp, same flashcards that I use, that I've used to get my daughter to master her letters and sounds. Use those and use those games, and baby, he will catch on. He won't say he's bored. He definitely won't say he's bored. You said it's cold here now. When it wraps up, you'll take him to a park. Thank you guys all for the suggestions. Of course, of course, of course. That is what we are here for. So I think we should do a Q&A coming up either next Saturday or the next Saturday. I kind of wanted to talk about the band of books. You guys, right now, there is a huge thing going on with so many districts and states banning books. And so y'all let me know which one would be more beneficial next Saturday. I wanted to kind of talk about the book ban, or we could just do the Q&A next Saturday. So let me know that down below. Whichever one we don't do, we'll just do the next Saturday, right? So yes, so there are your suggestions. Glad you guys are able to take them. Hope you enjoyed your 10 tips. I don't know why I said 2 and did that. If you have not yet hit the big thumbs up button, I'm so excited to have you. We get on here every single Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Chatted Up Saturdays. Look forward to seeing you guys. If you're not yet subscribed, what are you waiting on? Subscribe down below. And if you're like, what was she talking about? That teaching by design thing? Wait, I want to learn more. Down below in the chat box, you will see how to contact me. I mean, in the description, not the chat box. Ignore the chat box. In the description, you'll find find out how to reach me. You'll also see some free goodies there. I have free teaching tools, even ebooks to help you do this thing of teaching reading with ease. Whoop, whoop. You said appreciate it. You and everyone here. Awesome, awesome. Glad we can be a community to help you out. Whoop, whoop. If you have not yet, definitely check down below. Once again, in the description, I have the videos for some more educational apps that you can check out. And also, oh goodness, my voice is like, oh. And also, I also have some games for the end of the year. In addition to that, also right there on the front of my page, we have St. Patrick's Day games, we have Easter games. So as we talked about all the holidays coming up, I give you games for the holidays. I will see you guys live next Saturday. And of course, there's live videos that go out each and every single week right here on Thursdays, right here on the channel. Last week, I did a behind the scenes behind the scenes of my homeschooling life. I know we were just talking about a few schoolings, y'all. I dropped the ball and I share all my story and how I dropped the ball in that video. So go check it out. Thank y'all for tuning in, both live and on the replay. And I will see you guys next Saturday, same